Welcome to another edition of Bigfoots Pad Paranormal Radio. I'm Jeremy, also known as King Sasquatch. And on the line with me is
King Gray, also known as Tim. Mothman Warrior 1.0, also known as Nick. Archangel, also known as Brent.
And Stephanie's also on the phone.
Hi.
Tonight's show is about the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. And I'll have Nick explain a little bit of what's going on or what this thing is.
Okay. Well, back in, I believe, the year 1933, 34, and then another time in 1944, there was a series of attacks down in Virginia, in Mattoon, and there was this thing that attacked certain individuals in their homes, and it was described as wearing a tight outfit, and it was described also as wielding some type of a hose-like tool to inject this gas, which made people very sick, into their homes. So tonight we're going to be discussing those episodes after the news.
We have Becky on the line. Our switchboard's going slow the last couple of shows here. Hello?
Hey.
Oh, how's it going?
Fine, just kind of tired after Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yeah, we're awful here, honey. Oh, yeah.
So anyways, let's start with some paranormal news. Video, 2 MUFON reports detail low-flying orb over New York City. 2 accounts of unidentified orb-like UFOs, both with video, were reported over New York City on November 17, 2009. According to witness testimony from the MUFON UFO Network, a.k.a. MUFON UFO Database, New York MUFON Director Jim Balk reports that both sighting statements are from a single source, that the case has been assigned to a field investigator and the case is currently being uninvestigated. The witness says, I looked out the window to see if I could see anything and catch an array of strange UFOs or things flying about. I guess they're putting on a nice, colorful show because the sighting I had earlier on in the day that scared the living crap out of me. I told them I would not record them anymore, that they can't come in the form of a black choppers because it's too scary, especially when flying low. They decided to come in the form of orbs and to entertain, I guess to apologize for the scare. Look and enjoy. This is over Central Park in the Midtown area. Tim might have to talk for that one a little bit because I'm a little confused.
Well, what happened?
Tim?
What? I said what?
I said you might have to explain that a little bit because I'm confused.
Well, from what I understand, they over New York City, they just seen some orbs. From what I understand, they just seen some orbs of light flying over New York City, and that's basically it. Yeah, that's all I've heard so far about it as well. And we didn't go too deep into it. We just looked up the basics of it.
Well, yeah. Another thing I'd like to say is sorry about changing the time on you guys. Like for yesterday's show. Anyways, I'm going to have Stephanie read the next news story.
A silent multicolored UFO approached a Wisconsin home, and the witness telephone conversation with her roommate at a local sheriff's office was recorded. According to the testimony from the Mutual UFO Network Matoon database, the audio conversation is posted here. Please keep in mind that this is an uninvestigated case. Witness, on November 18, 2009 at 1:19 a.m., saw a flying object to the east of the home hovering over a horse pasture after hearing some noises. Object was observed for a short time before I contacted my roommate, who was a dispatcher for the local sheriff's office. Officer was dispatched to the location. As officer was en route, the craft continued to hover over the pasture area, occasionally coming towards the house and exhibiting erratic and quick movements. Size and shape of the object is unknown, but has multiple lights on the top, side, and bottom of the aircraft. Shortly before the officer arrived on scene, the craft approached the house and the dogs became excited and started to bark continuously. Can be heard on the recorded phone call. As the officer was arriving on scene, the craft took off quickly, heading straight up, flashing red and blue. The night was cold, 32 degrees, with low humidity and no moon, providing very clear visibility with lots of stars. Upon checking, a similar complaint was filed in July of 2008 in the same area.
What do you think of that guy?
The little one.
That one was pretty interesting when I found that one. I thought that was a pretty good article. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear about that.
Well,
come inside and have a nice cup of tea.
That's weird. He said the dogs start freaking out, too. You think that they can sense that kind of stuff? Do you think that dogs can sense that kind of stuff?
Probably. I think, yeah, probably. Yeah, when things happen, animals just seem to have a reaction before people do. For instance, when earthquakes occur, sometimes it's said that animals can detect the earthquake even before the Richter scales can. So, yeah, that's definitely a plausible thing that can happen.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is that it actually started flying away once the police came. Like maybe it was maybe it was like watching or something. Spectre photographed at former Northern Ireland workhouse. The photo taken by a nighttime security guard just a few months ago has been deemed by experts as authentic and reignited examinations into the ghoulish goings on the former workhouse. The picture was passed on to Paranormal Investigations at Paranormal Security Society Ireland to analyze the photo for 2 or 3 months before releasing it. And a skeptic later said, I am a skeptic, but let's say that the picture was disconcerting enough for me to advise a security guard to pass it on to the Paranormal Society. So I guess it's probably one of those new big sad things.
Yeah, did you see the picture of it, though, Jeff?
Yeah, actually.
It looks kind of weird.
Yeah, it looks kind of like maybe because it was at wasn't that a factory or something like that?
Yeah, it was taken on like one of the security video cameras.
Yeah, but I think it might have been maybe like a lower factory worker, not so much somebody that was higher up, because it kind of, to me, it kind of was like a servant of some sort. I don't know, just the way they were dressed or whatever.
Are you looking at this, Brent? Like that deal picture we're talking about?
No. No. Yeah, well, yeah, it was pretty neat. I saw something actually a little while back about a school, I believe in North Carolina, that their security cameras, which were motion censored, were set off at night. And there was this weird shadow apparition that appeared that crept across the hallway, and then it even looked like it took the form of a child at one instance. So this isn't an isolated incident. And of course, people are saying stuff like, "Oh, it was just kids messing with things," or or it was a light malfunctioning. But yeah, it's definitely interesting when things like this occur.
What?
Yeah. But anyways, what were you saying, Nick?
Oh, I was going to say I saw a similar case to what you just described in, like I said, I believe in North Carolina, at a school that is allegedly haunted, and they recovered some type of a shadow entity appearing on the motion-censored video cameras at night.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on the news. I remember that.
Yeah, I did. I just came across it when I was watching YouTube, and it was on a news channel. I picked up a newscast video.
This is kind of a weird one. I'm going to hand it off to Stephanie again.
I had to sneeze.
All right, never mind. She has to sneeze. I'll read it. Chile, winged creature in an angle. Mr. Oscar Soler Valbenito, a married sergeant with the Chilean Army, was performing his duties as a security guard in Preventive Custody Center in the city of Angle on Friday, April 28th. The facility was under construction at the time. He was alone when making his rounds of the construction site's interior. Once he returned to the guard shack on the southern side, using a passageway located in the back, he noticed the presence of an animal standing 1.2 meters tall. Average complexion, with a small head in proportion with the rest of its body. The creature sat on top of a metal pole ending 4 luminaries standing some 8 meters tall. The animal landed at the very same time that the watchman turned his attention to the site. Solar was able to see the lights go out of the pole and shake as a result of the creature's descent. The estimated weight of the creature was between 40 and 50 kilograms, according to the witness. It had no feathers, only velvety skin, dark gray or black in color. He was unable to make out a face. The wings extended to the creature's lower body, and then he could also see 2 legs. A pair of stubby arms could also be seen under the head. Further details that were actually sent in to us says the witness confesses that the animal was close to him, flying off with a gentle beat of its wings. He was unable to control a bowel movement, a fact that he tried to keep confidential on account of the customary jokes that tend to emerge with such cases. I guess he crapped his pants.
Yeah, so this guy. Yeah, it said he peed or crapped his pants afterwards. Cause he said he didn't want to seem like he was a weakling or something. Wow. That's crazy and stuff. Man.
Anyway, they said that, I guess, what's it, some kind of gargoyle or like a,
I don't know.
That was a very strange article, though.
Yeah. And stuff. It's crazy. Wow.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Brent?
I don't know. I just think it's plain weird. Like, what did he say it looked like?
Well, they said it was like a gray creature with wings that had weird eyes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Alive. Well, I know there was something.
It's alive! It's alive!
Well, I know they said some people. There was even another description from another person on that same article said they thought it was even like a dinosaur or something.
Huh.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know. What do you think, Steph?
I don't know. I don't think it's a bird or something. It's probably some sort of like weird creature. I don't know. It's kind of like, I watched a movie called Gargoyles like a week ago, and that's what it reminded me of, because that's what they would just like. That's what it. I don't know. It sounds like to me.
Well, Brent, speaking of monster investigations, this weekend we were gonna do something with our team, and we were gonna throw out an idea out there, Brent. Would you mind going on maybe like a UFO investigation tomorrow and a monster hunt the next night?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Possibly. Because I don't know if I have plans, but yeah, like what time would we do it?
I don't know, because Nick's not going to be here very long. I was just if you want to do something.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
But yeah, we'll go from them this weekend, though.
Yeah, we'll just
Figure it out.
Well,
hopefully. What?
Oh, I did that. Oh, that's interesting. Is there any more news articles?
Oh.
Yeah. Another one I would like to talk about is Bigfoot encounter in Wilderness State Park, Michigan. Riding his mountain bike along the Swampline Trail approximately 6:30 on July 29th, a 41-year-old townsman was enjoying the earthy smells of nature. 2 miles or so into his ride, he turned east toward the Nabu Trail, delighting to take deep breaths of the pine and deep earth that is until he reached a wall. I was about 3/4 of the way into the Nabu Trail when I ran into the thickest wall of human body odor that you could ever imagine. He said, It sent chills up my spine and the hair stood up. It scared me so much. I pedaled as fast as I could out of there. He got out of there and got back to the camp, and he says, as I was listening to the sound of nature, when all of a sudden, from the direction of the smell encounter, I heard faint taps on 2 pieces of wood being hit together. Then a slight pause. And I guess it says he was convinced it was a Bigfoot.
Sounds like one.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Where was that?
That could be the fat guy down the street that just forgot to take a shower after hitting the gym. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think on another Sasquatch show, actually in the last Sasquatch show that we had, I brought up that odor from some Sasquatch has been known to even give people bronchial problems. So, this can fall into that category. Yeah, and to answer Becky's question, I think it was in Minnesota. Or Michigan.
I was in Michigan, yeah. I think he said Michigan.
Well, we have 42 minutes left in the show, and we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get to our main topic tonight. You're listening to Bigfoot's Pad Paranormal Radio.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety-yak the street and waste your time a day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk to his voice is hoarse. You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
I love Basso. It's rich in chocolate tea. Chocolate flavored Basso is mighty good for me. Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy. Basso gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D. Oh, I love Basso. That's the drink for me.
And we are back on Bigfoot's Pad Paranormal Radio.
Keep getting all into that Bosco again.
What?
I said Nick was singing along with Bosco and what's going on.
It's his favorite.
Don't touch it! It's the history eraser button, you fool!
Anyways, we're going to get on with our topic for tonight. It's called The Mad Gasser of Mattoon. As Nick was saying earlier, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon was the name given to the person or people believed to be responsible for a series of apparent gas attacks that occurred in Virginia during the early 1930s and Mattoon, Illinois during the 1940s. Whether the attacks were anything more than a case of mass hysteria, if the individual reports were connected and the ultimate explanation for the events all remain debated. The appearance. The most contemporary descriptions of the mad gasser are based on testimony of Mr. and Mrs. Bert Kearney in 1408 Marshall Avenue, the victims of the first Mattoon case. They described the gasser as being a tall, thin man dressed in dark clothing and wearing a tight-fitting cap. Another report, made some weeks later, described the gasser as being a female dressed as a man. The gasser has also been described as carrying a foot gun, an agricultural tool for spraying pesticide, which he purposely, which he's supposed to have used to expel the gas in the houses. Let's start here. It sounds like a person, right?
Yeah.
Yep. But well, anyways, I'm going to read a report. The first report of the gasser incident occurred at the home of Carl Holt Huffman in Haymaker Town and Boder, I don't know how to say that, where there were 3 reported attacks over the course of one night. At about 10 p.m. on December 22nd, 1933, Miss Huffman reported smelling an unusual odor and was overcome by a feeling of nausea suddenly. The odor and nausea returned again at about 10:30, at which time Cal Huffman contacted the police. A third attack occurred at 1 o'clock a.m., this time affecting the entire house, and 8 members of the Huffman family were affected by the gas, along with a guest staying at the house. Their symptoms included headaches, nausea, facial swelling, and constriction of the mouth and throat. The daughter of Cal suffered a more severe reaction to the gas from the other residents. Her throat became so constricted that she stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated. She also suffered convulsive fits for several weeks after the attack. So the next recording is... What'd you say? Oh, what'd you guys say?
Oh, we were just saying
what? That's weird.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy.
I don't know, what do you think, Brent?
I don't know, I just think it's pretty weird.
The next recorded incident occurred in Cloverdale on December 24th. Clarence Hall, his wife, and their 2 children returned from a church service at about 9 p.m. They detected a strong, sweet odor and immediately began to feel weak and nauseated. The police, investigating the case, discovered that the nail had been pulled from a rear window, near where the gas appeared to be the most concentrated, and presumed that the nail hole had been used to inject it into the house. A third incident occurred on December 27th, where a Chapel resident, A. Kelly, and his mother reported similar signs and symptoms to the Huffman and Hall cases. The fourth and fifth incident occurred on January 10th, when Mrs. Moore, a guest at the home in Haymaker Town, reported hearing voices outside before the gas, and they said that it was injected into the room through a damaged window, supposedly. So far it seems like it's an attack on, so far it seems like it's like a murderer or like an attacker of some sort.
They're putting it through windows, and maybe he was like some sort of like
He's a ninja.
The house where the windows were broken or something broken and like it attacked easily. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's a ninja assassin, Brent.
Yeah, he's a ninja assassin.
But no, and then another theory going out there, they said that it could even possibly be like an alien or some sort, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, though. Well, because this is in the 1930s right now, I'm starting at the earliest and going up. It says, some of the cases I'm looking at them, they said a barricade was constructed outside the door to prevent easy escape. And they said no. They said when the attack occurred, they tried to get out, and they said that there was a barricade, like I said. Which is kind of strange, which means obviously someone was trying to trap him in the house. And this other one said, after the attack, sections of discolored snow were discovered near the victim's house. The snow had a sweet odor, and the analysis showed that it contained sulfur, arsenic, and mineral oil. People said that it might have been insecticides.
Insecticides? Did you say it contained arsenic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's commonly found in rat poison.
Well, if it was found in rat poison, you know, I guess some like insecticide stuff or whatever, then maybe it is some sort of just I don't know, somebody trying to poison control, or some kind of crazy guy that's just mentally disturbed and wants to kill people with his rat poison concoction, maybe.
Crazy exterminator.
Yeah, you know what else he could be? Could have just been a guy who ate a lot of beans.
Well, what's weird is we're going to be getting to the Mattoon cases here soon. But before I start off, I'd like to say this. It happened, there's probably about, I don't know, like 20 cases of this in Virginia. But once it hit Mattoon, Mattoon had probably twice as many of these attacks.
And there would be more than one a day.
And there would be more than one in a day. But also, some of these people reported seeing a tall, skinny person in a metallic suit and a tight-fitting hat. And they were 10 years apart. So it sounds extraterrestrial, the second ones. But some people seen the prowler, other people didn't. Kind of like that Spring Hill Jack from the other night.
Yeah.
Kind of different. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think that metallic suit could have been used for, Brent?
Did you say?
I don't know. Maybe it was like a stealth suit or something.
Well, they said it was metallic, and he's in the middle of the night.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like Brent said. Maybe it's like some kind of a stealth suit. Yeah. Or, well, if you want to expound on the extraterrestrial theory, it could just be some type of a suit to adapt to our environment. So, I mean, there's another possible explanation.
Like, it could be like a camouflage suit.
Yeah. Like I said, if you remember, the movie War of the Worlds, you know how the aliens die at the end when they breathe our air and they can't take it. You know, maybe if this thing is a extraterrestrial, it could have the same effects. You know, that's not actually very far out of reality. If another life form came from another planet, maybe they breathe in a certain percent of nitrogen or carbon they need, and our air cannot sustain them, so they need to wear some type of habitation suit. So, but a stealth suit or something else is definitely very plausible. And if it's an extraterrestrial, maybe they even have to wear the suits to counteract the gas itself, you know.
Well, there's also a lot of big media conversations going around about this at the time. Stephanie knows more about this than I do, so I'm going to have her talk about that.
Well, like, to add on to the whole extraterrestrial explanation part of the story, they were saying, well, the government decided that the commissioner of the public health and the, police department there, they were blaming it on the citizens of the town themselves, saying that it was some sort of that they were all sick with mass hysteria, and that it's just all in their heads, and they're trying to use them, saying, well, it's just you guys aren't thinking it through. But they're saying that a gas did exist, but they're blaming it on a pollution and also just the citizens themselves, or they're saying it was some sort of just a toxic waste thing, but they're not really saying that that they believe it's any sort of. extraterrestrial thing or a plant. They're calling it that an atlas plant was the cause of all this, but I don't know if I believe that, because it sounds like they were the people that were running the town were trying to cover their tracks up with 8 or 9 different stories. So I don't know. It sounds like some sort of government thing going on there.
Brad.
Well, on those, it says that the Atlas plant that was supposedly the one that was releasing the chemicals into the air was certified as safe according to public records at the time.
Hey, yeah, Brad, doesn't that sound like a pretty big conspiracy to you?
I don't know. A little.
Yeah, it sounds pretty sketchy, you know. So let me get things straight. Are they trying to say this is they're going with the good old mass hallucination theory?
Yes, exactly. Caused by some sort of plant that was deemed safe by the public health district, or just a pollution that affected certain people, you know, in the same area that saw the same things that caused them to just, you know, dream basically with that, which I'm not buying personally.
Well, yeah, I know it kind of sounds like when they try to attack. Some people try to attack Jesus and say his resurrection over 500 people was a mass hallucination theory. Oh, good timing, Jer. I'm sorry.
Well,
I
don't remember these were 10 years apart in 2 different states.
Yeah, that too.
But you know, either if it is a person, it'd have to be 2 different people or 1 person that moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could have a copycat if it was a person, but that's it's hard to exactly say, is what all I'm trying to get at.
And it was so long ago too, you know.
Yeah, we don't have any of the official eyewitness accounts on our hands, so we're just going on accounts of other people's accounts. So,
well, one thing I'd like to talk about, there's an attack that goes along with it could be a prowler of some sort, or just kind of an idiot. A first specimen of physical evidence to provide a clear description of the prowler was found on the night of September 5th when Carl and Beulah Cortez on North 21st Street returned home at about 10 p.m. After spending a few minutes in the house, they noticed a piece of white cloth slightly larger than a man's handkerchief sitting on the porch. The woman picked it up and smelled it, and as soon as she inhaled, she became extremely ill. She said that it was similar to an electric shock, and her face began to swell. She had a burning sensation in her mouth and throat and began to vomit. As with the other victims, she also reported feeling weak and experiencing partial paralysis of her legs.
wow. What?
And some person, and she says, well, to me, if you find a random cloth that's not yours sitting on your porch, why would you pick it up and smell it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like walking down the street, you find something in the gutter and go, let me smell that.
Yeah, like you could just pick some stuff off.
What I wonder about, or
what were
I
you
was going to say, I'm just wondering, how do they pick these certain people, certain families, certain homes? Why are these certain people being attacked? Is it just random, or is there any motive behind that? That's what I'm curious about. Why are they picking these certain homes to gaff?
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Because they are off-roading rodents. I'm just playing. No, really, there is no, from the data I've seen, there's no correlation between any of the victims of these attacks, so I'm not quite sure. But I don't know, maybe Stephanie or Jared might be able to elaborate further on that.
Well, Stephanie actually has a neat article that she found.
Okay, well, they were saying that, what? Oh. Okay, well, what they were saying was that the actual assailant, they want to say that it was a copycat effect because I guess the man who is the copycat himself like the whole mass hysteria thing, and it caused him to inspire the whole Mattoon casing in 1940. It was like the summer to fall of 1944, and so they think that he was just a copycat from that one because it was a decade apart and it was in two separate states. And even though the things were similar, I'm guessing they were saying that there was different sorts of like gas and substance abuse just to make it, different. But then they're saying that in the second cases, the 1944 ones, the one a decade later, that a Farley Llewellyn, cannot pronounce his last name, they were saying that he was a mentally disturbed man and that all of the people who were attacked were clustered around his home and they attended high school with him. And he was picked on because there were suspicions of him being homosexual, and that would give him a motive to commit all these attacks. But also, when his two sisters, Florence and Catherine, heard that, they decided that they were going to do more attacks because they wanted to draw suspicion away from their brother. But I was saying if they were drawing the suspicion away from their brother, why would the two girls dress up like their brother carrying out more attacks? So it just sounds like they were just doing that out of fear, but if that's the case, then I think they went about it the wrong way because they didn't really draw attention away from their brother. They just kind of made it look like he was doing it more.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know. Do you think that it's more paranormal or just like a stalker killer guy?
You asking me?
No, it's hard to. Oh,
just everybody.
Oh. Man, it's a lot. It's really similar to the whole Spring Heel Jack thing where you just don't know if it's just somebody dressed up or it's just because the way they describe them sounds very unusual. They don't exactly sound entirely human. And it's just it's this random phenomenon. It just seems like these people are these creatures that just come and cause trouble almost, which isn't, really that uncommon when you read about folklore and just legends and stuff, just about entities that like to just cause harm and trouble. But I don't know. It's just really hard to say.
Yeah, I can go either way, but I'm mostly saying probably psychopathic human. But you, Nick?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, I could take it both ways too, and
You know what? That makes me mad.
And I could lean towards the psychopathic human, but also, like I said, I could go towards more extraterrestrial explanation, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's all we don't have enough. We don't really know the details so much in this case because we're all four of us, or five of us rather, are not so familiar with the details. So we're just scraping off the top.
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
So until we find out more information, I don't think we can make a move.
Well, Brent, do you think it's more of like an alien type thing, or do you think it's a person, Brent?
I think it's probably a serial killer. Just a crazy guy.
A ninja assassin, never been?
What's that?
A ninja assassin.
Yeah, ninja assassin. Alien ninja assassin.
Did you read the report? Some people say that that the person was wearing a strange silvery suit, like I said, but right now I'm looking, there was 4 reports in a row that say that they've seen a mysterious glowing blue vapor coming out of a device, which makes it sound sort of paranormal once you read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it sound more paranormal. Yeah.
Well, why would it be glowing vapors in
the 30s and 40s? No. Unless you're the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, and maybe you can make blue vapor come out of a hose, but I don't think they could do that back then. A-I-O-U.
Or maybe because, like, if it is something paranormal, like an alien or something, because that's what some people were speculating it, because maybe, I'm just saying maybe an alien or some sort of creature decided to use a human as like a pawn while they were making attacks on certain people to try out maybe a new substance to see if that could be used as a good way to use mind control on a human or something, because they're always, as we hear stories of abduction, they're always saying, new ways to, I guess, control them or kind of sedate them so they can run tests. And maybe that was an early form of testing, because that was, like 70, 60 years ago. And obviously, even though they're technically, their species is a little bit more advanced than ours, they had to start off somewhere with trying to hold us down and, see into our minds and stuff. So maybe it was both at one time, but the alien was taking it one step further, using it as a cover.
I'm a bad boy, a very bad boy.
Yeah.
Something strange, if you look at these reports, is 2 or 3 of these reports say there's 3 or 4 people running from the scene. So if it's that one guy, if it's supposed to be just that one guy alone, then why is there 3 or 4 people running away?
Yeah, that definitely sounds quite strange. I mean, you could say that they were just scared and ran off, but at the same time, if you have an advantage in numbers, then that fact clouts just a plain attacker. I don't know about anybody else, but if I was with 3 or 4 other people and I just saw one guy come at me dressed up looking like a space alien mixed with the exterminator, I'd probably try to stop something or do something, but that's just my take on it.
Well, I'm looking at the newspaper headlines right now, and basically it's saying lock yourself in your house and trying to scare the crap out of people into not leaving their house.
Yeah, like mass paranoia. Like maybe they're trying to cover something else up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to keep everyone inside, and I don't know.
Like glowing blue gas in his house. But anyways, we have 17 minutes left in this show, and I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to finish up the last 15 minutes of the show and answer some questions. And you're listening to BFP Radio.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathe fire, his hand in the sky. A sailor, and Mattoon.
And we are back on BFP Radio. Tonight's topic is on the mad gasser of Mattoon. And
I love Jeremy. Me and Nick loved the Jurassic Park. That was a surprise to us. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising, like if a raptor was just like staring at me through a window or something.
Well, I was talking to Stephanie. Do you think that there could be maybe some people that they're not telling you about? Maybe, because it's supposed to be that guy and his 3 sisters, or 2 sisters, and the guy demands a couple of these people if they've seen 4 or 5 people. I've seen one report says 5, one that said 4. Who's the other 2 people?
Hello, guys?
I felt like we cut out for a minute. Oh, he said that there was 5 people on one case. Another couple said there was 2 people.
Well, you know what? Maybe there's because each time, maybe if it's extraterrestrial, maybe there's more people needed for different experiments. Like if they're conducting an experiment.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Well, what do you have any facts or anything you want to add to any of this, Nick?
No, not that I really know of. Yeah, like I said, I myself only know the basic information with this case. So, hard to speculate. Does Becky have anything to add, or Brent?
No, not really.
Basically, I'm just really curious about it. Like I said earlier, just why these people were attacked. If there's any reason, if there's any connection or pattern with that, just because these characters, the Mad Gasser people, they almost kind of remind me of the Men in Black, just seeming mysterious, out of place. I know they seem to have different qualities, different looks, the metallic suit and everything, but it just makes me wonder if they were after these families for certain reasons, if there's something we don't know. Because the Men in Black, they're supposed to be intimidating and threatening people. And people will say that they've done things to them, they've killed people, or they've threatened them. I wouldn't put it past them to maybe gas somebody's house. So I don't know, I'm just very curious about these families and why they were attacked.
Well, they did say that two of the people that were attacked, the victims, two of them were the wives of judges, and one of them was the wife of a Republican senator.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, there you go. That could also lead to another conspiracy. Like maybe he knew something in the government and they're trying to mess with his family.
Yeah. Kind of it's a strange case in general. The signs point more towards a serial killer who never really succeeded. Maybe it's some guy trying to test out pesticides, like a psycho, or I don't know, because that guy must have been pretty damn mad to try to kill all these people for teasing him.
Yeah, because he was a homo.
Nobody died, is that right? Nobody was ever killed from it?
Not killed or anything. The worst was the little girl that needed to be resuscitated and had the week of convulsions. But other than that, nobody was seriously injured. Just the nausea and fainting and all that.
Yeah.
Nick, do you think that could have been the Men in Black? You think it could have been the Men in Black, Nick?
Dude, I think it's the Men in Black. It could be a government project trying to cover something up. When Mothman appeared at Point Pleasant, there were some people dressed in black suits that appeared in the town and started questioning people. So that's definitely plausible.
Another thing that, because we have 10 minutes left in our show, before I forget, I'd like to bring up, we're not going to have a radio show tomorrow night, but we're going to have one Saturday or Sunday night for sure to recap on the investigations that we're going to be having. We're going to end the show a little early tonight. I'll let you guys say your goodbyes, and I'll end it with a song like usual.
All right. Yeah. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a happy
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.